everybody, it's Taryn at Tatter-a-fact here at the Girlz Inc. studio in Las Vegas, and I am super excited to be talking to one of, well, now two of my favorite people in PMU and outside PMU. We got Clarissa Stefania Russo and her hubby, Michael.
Hello.
Yeah. I was telling the girls yesterday how cute you were, Michael, and they were just going to love you.
You're going to make me go red now. I'm going to blush. Come on.
Yeah, he is cute.
I know, and so are you. You guys are the cutest couple ever. It's fantastic.
Oh,
I know.
thank you.
You're almost as cute as Kat and I. Almost.
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 Almost. I'll let you have that one because you guys are definitely cute. 100%. Definitely our inspo.
I know. So you guys are in the UK.
Yes.
Yes.
You're in the UK.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you and I will kind of get into a lot of different things, but just a little backstory is you and I met and started to get to know each other and be friends when you reached out about doing like a pigment line. And we started working on that together, and you guys came to Vegas several times and just right? And just you bring Michael and just hanging out and talking and doing business and eating and drinking and you've trained at our studio a couple of times.
Right.
We really got to know each other and become friends. And yeah, and I just think you two are really awesome.
We think the same. You know, we've always
do.
said the same as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it's been an amazing journey from the moment I actually met you, Taryn, till literally now. We've got so much to share on this podcast, and I'm so excited, like literally just from the very moment I think I even messaged you to where we are now and coming to Vegas and taking
We knew that
you
we knew that we had friends for life as well. It wasn't just business. We knew that when we met you and Kat, it was
we just clicked.
it was just a click. You know, it was just so natural.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, you know, I have to have that. You know, people reach out to me a lot for collaborating, and I have to feel like these are people that
Who are genuine.
yes, that are genuine, and that not only that I'm going to be doing business with, but you know, when you collab with somebody, they end up becoming a big part of your life. You end up working with them a lot, speaking them to a lot. They have to be people that I can tell that I'm genuinely going to like, and they're going to be more than collaborators. They're going to be friends, and you look for things that ensure or help ensure that they're going to be friends for life. Even if
I forced you because I just irritated you like constantly, like Taryn.
You
hello,
did. You did.
Relentless.
Yeah.
She was relentless. She was relentless. But now we know that's Clarissa, right? She's the relentless one.
At 10 o'clock at night sometimes, and Clarissa would be, I'd be like, this is before I came into the business with Clarissa, and I'd be like, Clarissa, who are you on the phone to now? Oh, please don't tell me you're pestering Taryn again. Mike, you don't understand. You don't understand. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until I get a response.
But like that's the Leo in me. I'm a Leo. Like we you know,
Clarissa,
if I want something, I'm gonna focus my mind.
Yeah.
But I think for Clarissa, she you know, you were somebody that she admired, you know, in the industry, and she looked up to you so much.
Yeah.
And you know, I knew nothing about the industry at the time, but I knew who Taryn was, you know, because Clarissa was just like this woman. Her knowledge is just
it's like encyclopedia.
untouchable. Yeah. And so,
You're making me blush. My goodness gracious.
well, you did it to me at the start, so I'm doing it to you now.
Okay, we're even, Michael. We're even.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get into all that, and I do want to talk about you working as a husband and wife, you know, closely together, because you know Kat and I do as well. So we'll talk about that. So let's kind of start. Let's like take it back a little bit, and let's talk about the very beginning. How did you get into permanent makeup, Clarissa? Like, what was it about it that drew you to it, and how'd you get into it? What was your very beginnings?
Very beginnings. Well, previously, just going to rewind a little bit. So previously, just before that, so I'm now 32 this year, so 7 years in. So previously, before I was doing PMU, I was already in the beauty industry. And I was a spa therapist. I worked in an iconic hotel actually in London, the Dorchester, in the spa there. And that was a very intense, I'd say high performance job where everything had to be so perfect because we were working with like VVIPs, and the cost of the procedures was so expensive, and we had to have really advanced training for 6 months before we could even paint a nail. And we're talking like, you know, $200, £200, you know, for a manicure. So after about 5 years, I felt like I wanted more of a challenge. And it only happened to be, and I think a lot of people tend to say this as well, like I actually got PMU done myself.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved the way that I felt when I left. I just felt so confident. I felt like, where am I going with these brows today? Like, I just wanted to show everyone. And I just loved how she could just transform something from, I didn't really have any good brows, to something that looked beautiful and enhanced. And I loved the way I felt. And I was like, you know what, I really, because I love, you know, I love working with the public and I love making people feel good. I thought, you know, this is a little bit more specialized than what I'm already doing with makeup and beauty. So I, took the jump, and then I went to go and learn permanent makeup in 2015.
2015.
2015,
Okay.
yeah. And then I never looked back. But at the time, I didn't specialize. I just learned eyeliner, hair strokes, and I think it was lip blush, and it was so like basic, you know, with the 4 flat hair strokes.
Yeah.
And that's when I first started in 2015.
So in 2015, you learned basic eyebrow, eyeliner, lip blush. So
Exactly.
when did you decide to focus, or what was it?
The ombre.
The ombre. Because now, do you do eyeliner and lip blush?
Nope. So
You dropped those two, and you only do.
I completely dropped it. I wanted just to be a specialist in just one thing. I felt like for me, wanted to really, I suppose, really be the best that I could be. I wanted just to do the brows.
And can I say that you are like fucking awesome? You do. Yeah, you do.
Okay.
You do the most beautiful ombre brow and transition. And I want to tell you, me and Kat and Michonne have talked about this several times. Remember when you came here to do a class and you needed a little, you know, you needed an assistant, and Michonne assisted you?
Yes.
Michonne learned so much from you. You can be so proud. When you see Michonne's ombre, she's one of the best.
I do.
And she's one of the best in the United States right now. That transition and what she does. And that has a lot to do with you, Clarissa. She watched you intently. You're a great teacher, great trainer, great technique. And she got really serious. Michonne says, well, it's 2-part. First of all, you were testing loaded, and you want to make sure it was really strong with the single needle. So you like forced the single needle on me. You're like, you're going to do it. You're going to use single needle. And then she got to assist you in one of your classes here.
And she was amazing. She's an amazing, incredible
She's
artist.
amazing. So when you see like yes, but as a
I said to her, she was like, okay, quickly, like tell me the technique. And I was like, okay. So I gave her a little rundown, and then I literally double took.
I think you came back to the hotel and you said, Mike, I need a Michonne. I need to take a Michonne.
She was incredible.
Yeah.
She's got an actual for it. But I have seen her work since I actually left as well. I have seen her do absolutely insane ombres, like her gradients, her fade, the transitions of light and dark. Yeah, I'm so proud of her.
She took like what you taught her and just practice and practice and practice and practice, and that's what it takes. That's what it takes for every artist, no matter what skill level you're at. Once you learn a new technique or a new needle, or you have an artist that because even me, I have artists that I admire, and I follow them. It's like, man, I want to do work like that one day, or I want to learn that. It takes practice and consistency to get that good, right? But you got good rather fast, it seems. If you started in 2015, so when did your ombre brows reach the level that they're at? Not that you're always getting better and better and better, but
well, the thing is, you do get better and better. I mean, every year I just wish every year that I get better, and that's just through experience and practice and time. And I still practice myself now. I think a lot of people don't realize that doesn't matter how good you are, you can always be better. Right. That's the one thing. But I'll answer that question for you of when did I think it all started. So in 2016, after about a year of just doing hair strokes, I had a friend of mine and she was like, can you just do like, you know, the ombre, like really light the front? And I was like, oh God, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll try, but I mean, I knew that I learned how to lip line, doing eyeliner, and maybe just a bit of coloring in, like doing lips. So I was like, okay, maybe I can try and put these techniques together and see what I get. So that was so a year, I would say literally a year after I started doing the ombre. So I did her and I absolutely loved it. I mean, when I look back at it, I think, oh my God. Like,
she was your first ombre, wasn't she?
She was my first, yeah. But the thing is,
how long did your first ombre take? Because you were using the single needle.
I was using the single needle.
So what, was it about 8 hours, Clarissa? Come on now.
Not like 6 or 7 hours. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
6 or 7 hours, it's not an exaggeration.
No, it wasn't an exaggeration.
So
no.
Michael had to cook dinner for himself that night. He was on his own that night.
That's the standard every night, yeah.
It was a Milford one, wasn't it?
It was.
But yeah, and I was like, yeah, this is amazing. Now remember, there was no such thing at the time. I think technical words like, I did not know whip shading, pendulum. I didn't learn that. I didn't learn pointillism, and I did not know the word pixels, and I didn't even know the diameter of the needle I was using. So
you knew nothing. You knew nothing. You were just a raw artist. Yeah. Okay.
I winged it. I just thought they looked all right. They looked good. They'll do. And I was that night I came home and I was like, oh, I really like those brows. Let me call it something. So I looked at my eyeshadow palette and it said blush in there. So I was like, oh, maybe ombre blush brow. And then literally like the next day I posted it. And hardly anyone back then in 2016, really in the UK, I can speak for like where I was, there was no competition at all. And it just like, just.
Everybody was hair strokes at the time.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it just exploded.
And before hair strokes, it was nothing but more of a solid brow. More of a solid brow. And then the whole industry changed and the whole industry got onto hair strokes. And it was like almost like if you were still doing a powder brow, you were dated. Yeah, you weren't relevant anymore. It was just hair stroke. And then it all came, to the ombre. And I think we're still in that ombre trend, but
it's transitioning. It's
transitioning, but at least now I see our industry. Do you see it now? Now it's not just one technique, now that overpowers the other. Now I do see hair strokes, powder brow, ombre, combo brows. Yeah, so now it's like, there's brows within brows, right? All kinds of different styles that we're doing now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's so good about it. And, going back to me doing the brows, it was one of those things where each year
the industry just changes and changes.
It was changing, but I still stuck to the same. If you look at my technique, it's exactly the same technique.
It's just evolved.
It's just slightly evolved. And year by year, I learn about everything to do with, that's whip shading.
Yeah, Clarissa would spend hours, at night on YouTube and, looking at body tattoo artists. And I'm talking hours and hours a week.
And I feel like that's how sometimes a lot of people sometimes can't learn a technique on their own. They need, they want
hands-on.
But back then, I mean, if I was starting the industry now, I would go to somebody to learn ombre, right? But back then there was no one to go to for ombre.
Right.
Really.
That was that's the way it was for many, many things in my career. There was I mean, I started, there was no Facebook. Imagine. Those are really neat. Those are
Instagram.
There was like when I started the wild world, World Wide Web. That's what we called it, the World Wide Web. Yeah, I mean, I think we had 2 websites in the whole world in permanent makeup. I mean, that's when I started. It's like Facebook. You couldn't even begin to imagine a Facebook back then when I started. Yeah, and I think the artist today has a lot more available. I think it's two-sided, right? I think back then, no, I didn't have anything really available to me. But the PMU industry and the what was expected and all the different stuff, it was very limited. So I didn't have to hit this really super high standard and do all these styles, right? But nowadays, yes, there's a lot more available. YouTube, online training, hands-on. I mean, our industry is full of talented artists.
So good.
But there's a lot more for the PMU artists to learn. The standards of the skill and artistry are way higher. So I don't know if it's necessarily any easier. It's just the challenges have changed.